You are listening to the Social English Podcast. This is an English repair shop or help me fix my English episode. In today's Social English Podcast, we have another repair shop episode. We fix a listener's English. He wants to talk about his shift at work. What time he goes to work and how it changed. And it's a funny story. Check it out.
皆さんこんにちは。毎日少しずつ社交に使える英語の上達を目指すソーシャルイングリッシュポッドキャストへようこそ。今日はぜひもっと自信を持って英会話してみましょう。Are you ready, Percy? Let's go.
Hey, Hikari.Thank you for that introduction. Everybody, yokoso, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Social English Podcast. For my regular English listeners, thank you for coming today. Okay, so the Social English Podcast is about having regular social conversations or conversational English, but in social situations.Not business, not work, but more informal social settings, social places. So today we're going to talk about fixing a listener's English, okay? And we're going to talk about fixing a listener's English. We're going to do it together. I'm going to ask you how you would fix it, and you think about it.And then I will tell you how I'll fix it. And this is in a conversational, social English way. Okay? So first, check out this message, and then I'm going to get back to you right after this.
すべての英語修理店のエピソードと同様に4つのパートがあります。パート1では、英語を勉強している日本人が間違っていったことを正確に聞くことができます。パート2では、会話型のソーシャルイングリッシュスタイルで正しい英語を聞くことができます。パート3では、パーシーはあなたが同じ過ちを犯さないようにするために彼が重要だと考えるヒントをあなたに与えます。パート4で、パーシーは正しい英語版を高速で自然な速度で言います。このようにしてネイティブの速度で英語を聞く練習をすることもできます。
Okay, today...We're going to have a 5-part, not 4 parts, but 5 parts. You will hear the listener's submission. We'll correct this English. I will give you some advice and pointers. I will read it at a native speed. And then I will give you a small quiz.on what you learned. Are you ready? Okay, so let's get started. First, let's listen to the listener's wrong English. This is the listener's submission today.Please listen closely, and after you hear this submission, tell me how you would fix it. Think about how you would fix it and say it. Here we go. Current, my job has 2 work time zone, such as morning shift and night shift. And I suppose to join both of times, but sometimes I feel not adjust lifestyle, especially when I work morning shift after finished night shift. My body don't get used to yet, but not big problem. I just accurate. Okay, so that's finished. That's it. That is the listener's wrong English, and I want you to think about how you would fix this English. Did you get a chance to fix the listener's English yourself? Well, I hope you had some good ideas. Here is my version. This is how I would fix this using a social English, conversational English style, a kaiwa, but social English style. Okay, so please listen. Kite kudasai. Currently, my job has 2 work shifts, a morning shift and a night shift. I'm supposed to work both shifts, but sometimes I have trouble adjusting to the lifestyle, especially when I work a morning shift right after a night shift. My body feels like it hasn't gotten used to it yet, but it's not a big problem. I'm just getting used to it. Okay, so that's my version there. That's how I would fix that English. Okay, listeners, here are some tips and hints, and tips to help you not make these mistakes. Okay. First, grammar and sentence structure. Use currently instead of current to talk about what is happening now. Make sure when you speak, your sentences are understood clearly. Second hint, word choice. Use shifts instead of work time zone for more natural native English. Also, use this phrase, adjusting to the lifestyle. I'll say it one more time. Adjusting to the lifestyle instead of adjust lifestyle. It is very confusing and not correct English, hard to understand. Number 3, for your verbs, use the present perfect tense. Use hasn't gotten used to it. It's a little advanced. I know. It's a little high-level English, but use hasn't got used to it or haven't got used to it maybe. The reason you use this is we want to talk about actions that started in the past but are still important right now. 4, the last tip for today is clarifying the meaning. Instead of accurate, say getting used to it to clearly express how you are adjusting to something. Okay? Those are today's social English tips. Okay, so now it's time for you to listen at native speed, okay, to practice your listening skills and get better at hearing native English. Okay, so let's get started. Kite kudasai. Okay, here we go. Currently, my job has 2 work shifts, a morning shift and a night shift. I'm supposed to work both shifts, but sometimes I have trouble adjusting to this lifestyle, especially when I work a morning shift right after a night shift. My body feels like it hasn't gotten used to it yet, but it's not a big problem. I'm just getting used to it. Now, let's review everything I talked about today. Let's have a short quiz time, okay? You like quizzes, right? Okay, so please listen and fill in the blank, okay? This is the correct version. Fill in what's missing. Currently, my job has 2 work blank. I'm supposed to work both shifts, but sometimes I have trouble 90-90. To the lifestyle, especially when I work a morning shift right after a night shift. My body feels like it blank hasn't gotten used to it yet, but it's not a big problem. I'm just 90-90 used to it.
このショーを気に入っていただけたら5つ星のレビューをぜひお願いします。
I hope that you enjoyed that short little quiz. Let's move on to the end of this episode. Yes. And before we finish, let's talk about my action items for you for today's episode. I want you to try to use one of the new phrases we talked about today in a conversation with a friend, or practice by yourself. If you are lucky, you know a native English speaker and surprise them by using a new phrase. For example, you can say, I'm having trouble adjusting to the lifestyle. Use this and practice it with your friends. I want to thank you again for hanging out with me, spending some time learning how to speak real social English. Thanks for listening. Please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to the Social English Podcast. If you have any questions about today's episode, go ahead and hit me up with a message on Instagram at social_English_for_Japanese. I will see you in the next episode. Peace and love.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイトrealsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.